Hello everyone. In today's video, I want to share an important chapter of my journey as a Filipino immigrant in the US, my first job experience. But before I dive into that, let me tell you a short story about how it all began. A few months ago, my wife and I arrived here in the US. We were overwhelmed with a mix of emotions: happiness, excitement, fear, and gratitude.
Alright.
While we were thrilled to start a new life, I was also nervous, especially about finding a job. I've lived in the Middle East before, specifically Saudi Arabia, which was challenging in its own way. However, adjusting to life in the US felt equally intimidating. I worried about whether I'd be able to understand people here or express myself clearly. Maybe it was because everything was so new and we were still adjusting. Life here is so different from the Philippines. You meet people of different nationalities and need to communicate in English, which luckily for us Filipinos is our second language. Even so, I wasn't sure how far my skills would take me. At first, I had no idea what kind of job I would get. All I knew was that I was willing to work hard. Since I had experience working in restaurants, I decided to focus on applying for similar positions. I started applying online, asking almost everyone I met, especially within the small Filipino community we had found, if they knew anyone hiring. I even approached a fellow Filipino I met at Walmart. Everyone was kind and said that they let me know, but days passed and I still had not heard anything. I began to feel discouraged. I'm not used to being idle, so I tried to keep myself busy by working on my YouTube channel, playing basketball, taking walks, and visiting friends. Even so, I couldn't help but feel down. Out of all the applications I submitted, only two places responded. One was a nursing home offering a position in dietary services, but the schedule conflicted with my wife's, so I had to decline. The other was a hospital where my wife works, but they had already filled the position. Weeks and months went by, and I was beginning to lose hope. Finally, a fellow Filipino reached out to me, asking if I was still interested in applying for a job. I didn't even ask for details. I immediately said yes. They gave me an application form, which I filled out and submitted to the office the very next day. A few days later, I got an interview. I was so nervous because it was my first face-to-face interview in the US. My previous interviews were done over the phone. When I met the interviewer, who happened to be the owner, I told him outright that I was nervous. To my surprise, he was incredibly kind and humble, which put me at ease. The interview felt more like a casual conversation than a formal evaluation. After a few minutes, he offered me the job, and I was overjoyed. I started work the very next day. I'm now working as a line cook, and I feel so grateful to be surrounded by such amazing people. Looking back on my journey, I've learned that it's okay to feel scared or uncertain. Adjusting to a new life in a foreign country is not easy, but patience and persistence pay off. When the right opportunity comes your way, don't hesitate. Grab it. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Thank you for joining me as I shared this chapter of my story. To those of you who are new immigrants or going through a similar experience, remember that it's normal to feel afraid or unsure. Keep pushing forward, and your time will come. If you enjoyed this video or found it inspiring, don't forget to like, comment, or share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one.